Alrighty, Doc here from North America. It's happy to hump day. It's Wednesday, middle of the week, and markets are kind of, a little twisting and turning as usual. They've been upside down and upside up and so forth and so on. Currencies you can see this morning, just looking at them just on a mild, quick look. Over on J4X, you can see the Swiss is moving back up again. Same thing here on Chicago Quant. You can see it there. Not getting into the buy though, but it's aiming up. And same situation, we have been in a weekly buy now since back in here. So the overall trend is on the upside. The short day-to-day trend or intraday trend, is obviously something different than the overall trend. And that's where we are. Dollar is firm. I know I'm always confused by that, but that's just what it is. I guess when price discovery, we talked about it yesterday. Matter of fact, it was interesting as I talked about it yesterday, and then on Zero Hedge last night, someone put an article out there about price discovery. Right there, so we can get that. So we can get that up there. It's right there, and we have a market concerned about valuations. It's interesting right there, the headline. We have a market concerned about valuations and another where price discovery is broken. We talked about that yesterday. In other words, fundamentals versus quantitative. Problem with the fundamentals is that the system seems to be broken and it doesn't really clarify values. And, the interesting article. It was just kind of funny that after me saying that yesterday, we had it jump out at us, which was kind of neat. So anyway, that's where we are at the moment, and we are looking like usual in a quantitative way. Oh, let's go over to the chat line too, see if anybody's in the house. We'll look at it in a quantitative way, because again, fundamentals are not exactly what they used to be since quantitative easing started back in 2008. And so because of that, we function more on a technical analysis level now. And we watch all the news that that's coming out all the time, but in the end result is that the real reality is fundamentals, and that's why we have fact check spreadsheet. Tells you where we are, where we stand with our fundamentals, how many days it's been in a buy or in a sell, or how many weeks it's been in a buy or a sell, and so forth. So we start off with the Swiss each day now because it seems to be a good representation of the movement of the dollar. We used to follow the euro closer that way, but it just seems to be that the Swiss is a little bit more indicative or more descriptive of what's going on with the dollar. So here we are. You see the Swiss is moving up, which means that the dollar is firmer. And you can see that there, but it has not pierced the daily yet, so we're still a couple days in the sell now. And same situation here. You see where we had the reds, just like we had the reds here. And it's going green on the J4X, and you can see we are showing a volatility signal right there, and we're just waiting to see if when this line starts to turn back up again, the white solid, to indicate that there's going to be more strength in the dollar, vice versa, so forth and so on. All right, let's see, what else can we say about the Swiss? I guess that's about it. Oh, saw some interesting stories about, was it Swiss Re, was it? I guess Grenland. There's a SoftBank combination. They lost $10 billion. It was Credit Suisse, I guess it is. And because of that, there's a big investigation. They've been going into the banks and they've been investigating the way that it played out. With $10 billion in losses, they're trying to see who to blame and so forth, and so there's a lot of action going on in the world right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Ever since quantitative easing, things have gotten strange. And before, I think things were strange, but they were more staid, more quieter, nowhere near as exotic. I mean, we're at a point now where they want to double our national debt. They don't just want to increase it; they want to double it. They want to pass a debt ceiling that's like twice the amount of what we have already. It's just phenomenal. That just shows you that the politicians have become lost when it comes to the amount of money borrowing and spending. just it just shows you the irresponsible level we've gotten to. I guess life must be too good, for everybody, because we're not chasing these politicians out the door. You would think we would be like, literally chasing them out. So, all right, let's take a look at the euro. See what's going on with the euro this morning. There it is, right there. You see it's broken down even lower. That's that weakness of the euro against the dollar. Just take a look at it over in J4X. There, and you can see that the action in it is pretty much just that pressure down. You see the white line is trying to pierce. We went into the daily buy a couple days ago, as you can see right here on the Chicago Quant, and now we're down below. You can see J4X is joining in, and lots of red. It just doesn't want to go up. You can see all the little red dots we have here. So pressure is on. I guess there's, I saw somebody that might have been one of the Bass brothers, from the hedge fund family desk, say something about that yesterday, or they talked about it. Yeah, yesterday they talked about it. How even when the United States, I say it all the time too here, even when the United States might be the problem, in other words, it's the problem making the markets nervous. They run and buy our treasury bonds and they buy our currency, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought you're supposed to be running away from the accident, not towards the accident. And so there seems to be this kind of, the Federal Reserve is the World Bank in a sense. I guess it's the buyer of last resort now. It's shown that it is the world banker, and because of that, it kind of money runs towards it, even with it being part of the United States. It's weird, like I said, people are running towards the accident, not away from it. When it comes to, if there's a problem in Great Britain, they sell the British pound. They sell it. People don't run and buy British pound bonds. They go and sell the gilts. And they sell those things. Same thing with the European Union. But when the United States seems to be the problem in the financial sector, they run towards it, which is very strange. It makes sense. We are the bank, or the Federal Reserve is the world bank, and everybody seems to trust it. And but it is amazing. It truly is. It's an exotic type of action there. All right, as we sip our tea this morning too. Let's take a look at the cable, since we just mentioned it too. Right there. The cable was right on the edge of going into a sell this morning, but just couldn't get in there. See what it's doing at the moment. Still green there. White line still pierced up nicely. And see what it looks like right there. Same situation. Let's widen that out a little bit. Except for it is making a small challenge to that area. We're in that weekly sell since here. And it goes sideways right now, really. That's what it's been. Since Monday, it's just sideways. And we got green dots going on, just like here, green bars. And we'll see if this rolls over or holds up. There's not much to be said on a fundamental level. So I guess the only thing I can say is on a quantitative, it just shows that it's going nowhere at the moment. Kind of trapped down towards the bottom end of its range. Just like the other products are trapped on the outskirts of their ranges. That seems to be the. Just drinking my tea there. Excuse me. It just seems to be the way it is at the moment. And I think we made a headline, one of the webinars we did over the last 3 or 4 days, about how everything is trapped in a range, and they don't seem to want to let go. And here we see the dollar, being firmer this morning, and it's trapped inside its range of the high end of the range, So, we just keep on watching the process play itself out. Who's more valuable, who's less valuable, who's needed. It's like I said, we don't follow the fundamentals anymore. The fundamentals are kind of broken. So, and then that article this morning, let me just show you the headline again. Right, where's it? Right there. So, the fact that this headline and that article in Zero Hedge, and it's a curious thing. It says here, the first lesson that aspiring medical doctors are taught is simply first do no harm. Right. Central banks may want to embrace that same principle. U.S. stocks have been wobbly of late, with both the S&P index and the Nasdaq, or the Tech 100, tumbling more than one standard deviation a handful of times in the past month. And where do they talk about the fundamentals? Let's see if we can find the fundamentals in here. Blame at least to a great extent the Fed's unbridled balance sheet expansion. Yeah, that's what it is. What does it say there? Authority buying bonds at a breakneck pace of more than $1 million of bonds a minute. Yeah, that's pretty hot and heavy when you really think about that. That is a breakneck pace. They buy $1 million worth of bonds every minute. Wow. Talk about like being in the candy store. We have one part of the market concerned about current valuations and correcting itself. Yet we have another corner where price discovery is broken. And the principal difference as things stand between those two spaces is the overwhelming presence of a buyer at first recent retort masquerading as the lender of last resort. Yes, see, that's the problem. And that's how I feel about it, because I'm from the old school. So pre-2008, it really messes with my head. This is not what we expected out of a Federal Reserve, but that is, the socialists have really gotten good control of a lot of our institutions, and they really believe that we can just keep on spending forever, and there's no problem to it. And what do we always say? Socialists find out sooner or later that they run out of the money of other people, and that's what it comes down to. And that's what we don't want to happen. And now our borrowing is getting up to the edge of what it took to spend for World War II. And we're not excited about that. And now that they want to double that, it's a real scare here. We're really confused by it all. So markets function best when they are allowed to get on with their assigned task by themselves. Totally. And that's the whole crutch of it all. And that's what we talked about yesterday, how we have to follow quantitative versus fundamentals, which is kind of disappointing. It means, you're not really looking at interest rates. You're not looking at inflation. You're not looking at employment. You're not looking at consumer prices or producer prices. You're not looking at taxes. This is what the socialists love. They love that. The whole idea to throw all those fundamentals out the door and just spend. That's scary. So that's where we are, and that's why Doc here is, driven by the quantitative side until we grow out of this craziness. All right, let's run over to the Turkish Lira. Now, we saw incredible stories on the Turkish Lira. Something about Turkey is coming to a reckoning. Something about it has to decide if it wants to be a zero-sum factor, which it is now, or dump the zero-sum factor. In other words, Turkey is trying to be in the European Union and in the kind of like the Middle East of controlled economies. Now, it's awful hard to even suggest that the European Union isn't a controlled economy anymore either. So it's kind of a little odd that the story says that, but it does, I guess, away from market forces or towards market forces. And I guess if you look at the European Union, at least some of it is affected by some market forces. But hey, Douglas, how you doing? But due to the fact that everybody is buying at a breakneck pace, matter of fact, if the U.S. is buying bonds at $1 million a minute, then the European Union is buying $1 million worth of euro bonds in a 2-minute period, because they're doing half of what we do. And then I don't even know if anybody else is participating at all. So I'm sure England is involved in some level. I'm sure they're buying gilts and holding markets up because the Exchequer has a lot, like it has, like Lloyd's of London and so forth. Bank of Scotland, was it Barclays, so forth, that have issues, just like the way we have, you know, Merrill Lynch and Wachovia and you know, Bear Stearns and Citibank and so forth having its issues, and Germany has Deutsche Bank, so forth, having its issues, and a few other institutions there. So it's kind of unique. But anyway, that's the article today, which was very enlightening, as I thought, about Turkey. They're looking at the combination of China connected to it, Russia connected to it, you know, the Silk Road, you know, all that. It's very interesting. So I guess that's why we're starting to see the Turkish Lira kind of ride the top end of that range now, meaning that more than likely, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, more than likely it's probably going to find a way to break through that range and get going even higher. And let's take a look at it on J4X. Right there. So morning to you, Douglas. How things going? It's become the Douglas and Doc show. That's good. At least somebody's asking questions. I like that. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look at, you can see it's trying to bounce back up here just the way we're bouncing up right here. But did I just bounce? Right there. Yeah. And it just says this is bouncing up right there. Now let's go take a look at the the euro Turkish lira. Right there. Down just a little bit. See, it's trying to lift up also. Let's take a look at it here. Right there. You see it's trying to flatline against the zero line. So it's, you know, there's some pressure on the upside there. They're starting to do a little buying in there. At least it's trying, that's for sure. The weekly, you know, you can see is in a weekly buy now for going on a fourth week. Same thing with the dollar side of it. So they're not exactly running away, which kind of makes me a tad nervous, thinking that it's going to find a new range. That's what it says to me, is when we see this, you got to wonder if they're going to find a new range. And that new range could be higher, and that would be even more disappointing. We're starting to, we have the inflation thing going on here in the States, but I can't imagine seeing our currency go up tenfold. So, from there we go over to Canada. See what's on with Canada. A dollar Canada pairs trade, right there. And you can see this is trying to press its way down. Let's see what we got in here. And you can see it's starting trying to lift back up again. So, you know, here we are. That white line a little thicker too. Style. There we are. That's better. So you see here we're trying to move towards the zero line. We are in a weekly buy. You see that pressure is on the product on the upside. And what else do we have to say about that? I guess that's about it, really. Just because of the fact that it's trying to move up, you would assume oil is going down and gold is going down. So we'll take a look at those real quick just to get a flavor of it. There's gold. Looks unchanged to me right there, but coming off the lows, so that's interesting. Then let's take a look at, let's look it over here. No, that's not it. There it is. That's the NQ. Let's take a look at gold. Right there, pretty much unchanged, same thing. You see the weekly is actually, the weekly is trying to get moving along. It's trying to lift up. We've been in a daily buy for a bunch of days, but have gone nowhere with it. See that there? And you You see it here on J4X, green, 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 and then all of a sudden the red today. That's from that big long low. It'll straighten out soon. Give it a couple more hours. And then let's take a look at crude oil. There, you see crude is down. That's how we interpret that when we see the Canadian moving down. We assume that's going to be doing the same. It had made an interesting high. Natural gas, incredible numbers, just incredible. I saw somebody do a comparison of what natural gas is being traded for in Europe at $33 or $34 a cubic foot, and that equates to $240 a gallon on crude oil. That's that's the way it would be interpreted. $240. You can see there it's trading at $78. So, wow, just wow. Now, we showed you that chart yesterday where natural gas in the United States, is trading at like 6, and it was up big last night too. Let me show you that real quick. It was up big last night, and then in Europe, it's trading at 7 times more. Huh? They knocked it down from the overnight action. Good. I'd like to see that go down. How about that? So they made a new high and then they dropped it back down, something like a 7-year high or 8-year high. But the daily's still firm on the buy side, and we're in a weekly buy since back in here in the 4s, or 380s or something like that. Gone to the $6 area in that weekly buy. Wow, just wow. All right, and then let's just take a look at it through J4X right there. I wonder if we can get something else up there from the European Union. Let's just take a look and see. Let's see, so there's Brent, there's copper, gas, that's what we're looking at now. Light gas, soybeans, what is that? Dollar index. There might be another oil, natural gas thing going on there. I'll find it. I thought I saw another one. National Grid. Let's see what that looks like. Now that's coming off of some high. Let's see. Not really. Look at that. So that's not it. I guess that's the only natural gas they're following. I guess that's how that works. Yeah. There's the U.S. Treasury bond. National Grid. What is that? That is. Let me just see what that is. No, that's not it either. Either way, at this point in time, we do know that in the States they're starting to top it out a little bit. It would be nice to see the Europeans have that same luxury. All right, from there we go back to the currencies again. We finish off with looking at the South African rand, the ruble, the yen, and the Mexican peso. So there's the first one, the ZAR, right there. And you can see that's moving up, and that's kind of usually when gold is flat to down, it moves up in value. Let's see what it looks like right there. It's trying to break through. You can see ours is already broken through with a volatility signal of the red and the green. You can see what's interesting is it shows 2 days, which is pretty cool. We have yesterday as a green and a hanky, and then today. So that's pretty cool. It's leaped ahead of us. What else can we say? I guess that's about it. There's our weekly. It closed in a weekly buy Friday. So there's pressure on the product on the upside there. Over there, then we jump over to ruble. Dollar ruble right there. you see it's been pressing down. We're in a daily sell since back in here 4 days ago. I'm not sure why the line's not there, but I'm going to steal that line and just move it over. And you can see we are flirting with a weekly buy, but we're still in the sell by very, very little amount. And that's the ruble. Do we have any ruble traders out there? Then let's jump over to the yen. Went into daily buy yesterday. You can see it's a little down, but still pushing up, joining in with its weekly buy there. And then take a look at the ruble, the yen right here. Down just a little bit. Last one we go to is we take a look at the Mexican peso. We were a little surprised. I mean, we saw it leap up, but kind of still a little surprised. It's because it's traded such a nice range for a while there. See that? It's breaking through the oval now, making new highs over the last 4 months. Talk about the dollar being strong, huh? So it's leaping up. We closed in that weekly buy last week, and we've been in a daily buy for 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, something like that. It's just widened us. So we've been in a daily buy since right here. Got the volatility signal there. We've been in a daily buy for 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th day. So they've been pushing it up. Gbp Jpy. Let's check it out. That's good how you coordinated that right to the currencies. I like that. That's pretty cool. Let's check that out. Gbp Jpy. So let's go over to here and get it. There. And then over here. That you see here, it's been in a buy for a couple days, and the buy right, let's widen that out right here. And that's what that is right there. In the weekly sell, and a daily buy. That's pretty much the action of it all. We did a weekly sell last week. I should do another one here. I'm not sure why it disappears on us, but it does. There, I'll fix that. There it is. Actually, I guess we got to reverse this. There. So it goes there. This goes there. It goes there. So it went into the sell right there, and then it goes into a volatility signal and a buy. Right there. I guess that's what it is. So it goes in the weekly sell right there on the close, and here we have. This pushes us into a daily buy. So it's kind of trapped, you know. Not much to be said more than that. In a weekly sell going on a second week, we'll see if this rollover pushes us into a sell and starts to go down. Now, since the dollar is strong, well, no, this is Gbp Jpy, so I don't know whose battle wins more there. Let's just take a look at it on J4X and get a little flavor of the past. pretty much working its way down, I guess you could say. Oh no, well you actually could say it's been working its way up. So cable's been moving up like that, and interesting triangle you got developed there. That's very interesting right there. The triangle action. How's that? It's almost to the top. Is that a range? At the top of the triangle, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they play that out. It's contracted there. So I guess that would be it right there. And I imagine you take those tops like so, and then those two bottoms. So it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, heading for a 5 on the upside. I guess, you know, if it breaks out above this high, triangle theory says basically it's going to go to this area right here. You know, that high there. So, because the triangle's here, let's draw those lines in there. That's that, and then the triangle seems to form or start there. So, you know, it should come and take out that high there if it breaks this trend here. How's that, Douglas? Is that good? We'll see how that plays itself out over the next couple of days. Let's save that. Let's see if I can save that so we don't have to do that again. So we remember about it. Save workspace. Save it as. There we are. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? Let's see. Oh, I guess. Okay, cool. Let's go look at the metals complex and the gold and the silver and all that stuff again. Get a flavor of what's going on there. And the energies. Well, we see natural gas topping out, waiting for the break. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's the whole idea. Stay with the tools and, you know, trade it. Exactly. And I guess let's go back to that for a second. Where's that at? Right here. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, if it takes out this trend line this time, chances are it's going up, you know, much higher. So contract it again to where it might go. I guess we put a line in there like this. Let's put them in as dots if I can get. What's up with that? Oh, where is it? There it is. How if it do dash it like that? We'll see how that goes. Let's save that. And obviously if it breaks down, well, it's pretty much at its lows. It will take out that low right there. So it's already been there. Let's see, save as. There we are. Good. Let's hope it reappears again when we want it. Yeah, with the lines in it, that is. All right. From there, we're going to shoot over to the energies and the gold and silver. Let's check that out again. I hear something. What was that? Oh, I heard my phone. Hold on a second. I must have left it somewhere. Hold on a second. Let me go get my phone. Someone's texting me. Thank you very much for that patience. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's see what else we got going on here. Alright, so let's look at, we saw natural gas there. Let's jump over to crude oil again. Right there. Actually threatening now to try to go into the sell. A little profit taking, I guess. And after 4 solid days in a buy, and we've been in a weekly buy since back in here in early September. Now let's take a look at the gold again. Gold is still unchowed. Let's just give it a reload. And strength has been there, and it's trying, the weekly's trying to turn up right there. Let's throw it over on J4X. Right there. And let's check out silver. Talked about that yesterday, how it seems like everybody's into silver. Or we did that Monday on an article. And it was selling off. Now you can see it's trying to come back. It's got a red dot at the moment, but it is definitely coming back. This line was lower, it was challenging it today, and this was down at the bottom. The weekly just doesn't want to give up. You know, you can see we've been in a weekly sell now since since May. That's a long time. Going on a 21st or 22nd week, I think it is. Let's see what the fact check spreadsheet shows. Yeah, 21 weeks in a sell. With the way it's acting today, it doesn't look like it's going to move anywhere away from that either. Then let's check out, let's see, that's silver. Last night I updated the platinum. Let's see what platinum's doing. There it is right there. We're in a January contract now. You see a little strength here. Just pushing along. And we're threatening the weekly again. So we went into a weekly buy, weekly sell right there. Let's put that weekly sell in. And now it's going after the buy again. I understand there's some gold being bought, so I mean maybe that's part of the process. And we'll throw a little circle in there showing that it's trying to play with the weekly buy. So let's see, 960, and where's gold at? 1760 basically. So it's at $800. Yeah, I guess so. It's $800. Spread fell from 1,051 down to 400 and change, like 475, and now it seems to be sitting somewhere in the middle of that range. Another flag there, Doc. Oh, what's that on the gold, or on on the platinum? Right there, yeah. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that's odd how it did that. Let's just move it up. That there, and the bottom side of it. I guess that's about it right there. Could be the earlier, I guess, in some ways, or because that's tighter. What do you think? Maybe if that's 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5, or is it playing itself out in a smaller one, like right here? Let's try this. It's even a smaller one. We're going to go like this. Acting very weird there with the line, isn't it? So we can widen this. I'll show you in a sec what I'm thinking here. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's widen this out even more. I'm thinking that this could be the real triangle right there. That's what I'm thinking. From here, and let's see if we can move this up, and the bottom one right there. So there's a 1, 2, and even then, this is awful tight. 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Normally the triangles move in 5s, but sometimes they can move in 7s. This could be 1, 2. This could literally be the 3. Hit there for 4. Tighten up even more for an explosion, and then possibly get itself back up into the thousands. Hey, 47, how you doing? Yeah, Doc, can you look at dollar CAD? Sure. Let's go to dollar CAD. Let's move this over to there. It was, what was it doing this morning? We looked at it. It was moving up a little bit, I think it was. Yeah, just a little. Nothing major. You can see it right there. Trying to get through the line here. We're in a weekly buy for 1 full week, but you know it's more lower than it is higher. So maybe what it's going to do is going to climb back up into that area, 27s, 28, something like that. And then over here on J4X, let's put it up on there. Right there. You know, it's trying to turn up here. We'll see how that goes. And we still have red, but not green yet. We're going to start, and we have a green dot there. So all we need is this time manifold to get, you know, the nonlinear, get through to 0. So that's what Canadian looks like at the moment. Also, like I said, after many weeks in a buy, it went into the sell 2 weeks ago, and then last week it closed in the buy again. So that could literally be the action we're starting to really see play itself out. So that plays out with me that way. You see how that works? 47? Oh, no problem at all. Good. That's for now. There we are. Answering a text at the same time. All right. From there, where were we? Oh, we were looking at the metals complex. I think we were just finishing. Excuse me, just finishing the metals complex, and we looked at the energy complex. Oh, good. That's where I wanted to go. Let's see what they're doing here today. There's the short term. They're rallying this stuff back compared to the way they slammed it down. There was the lows of overnight right there. At is that the lows? Yeah, I think that is the lows, right? No, low is, where's the low at? The low is, yeah, 273.75, right there. There's the low. Is that the low? No, that's not the low. Let's move it over more. There it is. There's the low. Okay. 273. That's 283. Okay, even more. How about that? There's the low. About an hour before the webinar started. Somewhere's in there. 273 it says. There it is. So right there, about 3 hours ago, that's where we found it. And you know, it worked its way down from the highs of last night, yesterday. We were down, what is that now? We're down 35 points. And the low is 73, so we were down 60 points at one point there. You can see it's starting to weaken again. We'll see how well that does. And then let's take a look at it on a daily basis. Right there, and let me save this too, so we can watch this when it does what it does. Save. Space. Save. Yes. All right, now here's the S&P. It closed in a daily buy last night, and now it's down below its daily sell again. See that right there? And we're still in a weekly sell, so you couldn't take the long anyway. So that's what they're doing there. Let's see. So Douglas says S&P and then oil again. Okay, let's go take a look at oil. And there's the oil. You know, it's coming off its lows, it looks like, but you can see it's flirting with the daily sell. And let's see what, like, probably on J4X, probably doing the same thing. Right there. Yeah, look at it now. It's starting its curve. We haven't gotten red yet, but we're getting there. And we've got a red dot here. and we're already piercing the zone. So that's the oil, and it's been I just listening to what they say about natural gas and oil and all the issues that are going on with the energies right now. Have a hard time believing that the thing can go down. I mean, profit taking, yes, but selling, I don't see that. And you can see here on the weekly, right there. I mean, we've been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks, going on a 5th week from the high 60s. So let's see if they even can get this green line back down to the time manifold right there. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that oil and the energies are going to stay firm. Some profit taking will go on right now, and who knows, maybe someone will announce something like they're going to sell from their energy reserves or something like that, and the next thing you know, it'll push it down, and then give it a couple hours or a day, and the next thing you know, it'll be climbing right back up again. All right, let's see. That's the S&Ps. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq 100 or the Tech 100. See how that's looking. Wait. Let's take a look at it too on the J4X. Here somewhere. There it is. That's the S&Ps right there. Having that pressure on the downside. Do you believe that can take hundreds from 2008? You mean go up to the hundreds? Oh, sure. I mean, it's a product that's used. We have, Mr. Biden has halted as much as he can the American oil industry. So it's only forcing prices up. That's their objective, is to drive it up. Don't ask me why, but they do that. Mr. Trump had opened up the American oil industry to the point where we became the world's producer at one point. And the environmentalists, socialists get crazy over that. They hate that idea. Matter of fact, what did I see this morning on the energy side that was really a mild surprise? Was it the phosphates and so forth in Germany and England? Production is down by 50% in both places because of energy problems. They've shut down the nuclear power plants, and the windmills weren't working well this year, and all those problems, and they have to just get used to the idea that then they gave the Nobel Prize out to a bunch of people, Nobel Prize in physics, to guys who claim to have devised some type of climate thing or another. We know that's all false, but it is what it is. So now the Nobel Prize in Physics is moving in the same direction as the Nobel Peace Prize, where you have these people, they give people who are violent, and they give them the Nobel Peace Prize because they say something nice after decades of killing people. So it's, they're going the same crazy direction. So yeah, $100 oil would not surprise me, especially when you have people in government right now that want expensive oil. So. Alright, so from there we go over to the Nasdaq and put that in there. That's the Tech 100 right there. You can see it's moving down, but it's up pretty firm compared to where it was before. I mean, the low is 1422, I think it is. Let's put that up on the screen. Will do it. There it is. Right there. And the low was 1422. You see right there. And now we're trading at 533, 100 points plus. And then we go look on a short-term basis. The product is still down 121 points, but it was down over 250 points at one time. And let's show you that. Get to that mouse. Where's it? There it is, right there. You can see it's climbed up really nice, and I'm feeling a little weakness. That was just a, look at that, mild correction. It dropped all the way down and starting to turn again. We are seeing manifold tightening up, so this could be a rollover. We'll see how that goes. The employment numbers came out looking pretty good, so that kind of calmed things down a little bit more. Like the world's not coming totally to an end, just partially to an end. And so that's the recipe to it all now. You know, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was down over almost 350 points, right there. You can see that is only down 232 now. They've lifted that up from its lows. And that lows was generated back here, right there. That's what it was right there. So it's been a good march on the way up. You know, I mean, you know, they knocked it down and now they're taking it back up again. You know, sometimes you got to take profits. You've got a margin call going on because of the natural gas situation in Europe, where there's a $30 billion margin call going on at the moment. So they need to liquidate something, and that's probably a good reason why we're seeing a lot of weakness here. You know, when it comes to fundamentals, that's about as close as I'll trust as a fundamental. You know, margin calls. When you have massive margin calls, usually you'll see weakness. The thing is that the Federal Reserve is buying and holding markets in place. So they don't exactly like the markets to fall too much too fast. They kind of like to keep it under control. You know, I think someone was saying something this morning where they're all one standard deviation lower now. So, you know, that's says, you know, they like to buy dips. You know, that's what everybody does. You buy dips because the Federal Reserve will make sure those dips become new highs. And that's the situation there. All right, let's take a look at it on a daily basis. On J4X and Chicago Quant, right there. Yeah, still, again, playing with the weekly still. It seems like after all these weeks up in here, you know, it's trying to get back into the buy there. And let's take a look at it here. There it is right there. And like I said, it shows that it's down a couple hundred points, but it's come off its low pretty nicely. You see the white line is pierced up. Not bad, huh? That's pretty good actually. Because over here on J4X, where is it at? What's missing out of that? Where's the line? Oh, there's the line. Okay. So I guess we should reverse that out. So I don't know. That's weird. So let's make that histogram white and make the line that and a little bit thicker so we can read it better. There we go. Yeah, look at how herky-jerky that is. It's really choppy. But it busted through there, but couldn't, you know, we had a red dot, so we couldn't put it in a buy, but we had a green line sitting here waiting for today. And then, you know, it started selling off, so the green line was wiped out. And you can see here, that's pressing underneath. And over in J4X, it is not. It's trying to roll over, just like we're doing here, but it hasn't broken the dashed line yet, slow moving. All right, let's see, what else is there? That's the 3 stock indices. Bitcoin was kind of curious. Let's take a look at that. Where's that? Right there. Okay, cool. 54,000 now, almost $55,000. So it was down a little bit this morning, but sure firm there, and we're in a daily buy and a weekly buy. It's doing a fine job, you know, moving up. So, and I always say it here, you know, without a doubt, as long as there's quantitative easing, there's going to be cryptos. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. And then after quantitative easing is gone, and I don't know when that's going to be. I mean, I have no guess. To me, I'm just doing a wild guess. another 15 years maybe. I don't know. We're 13 years into it now. I figure, we'll probably do something like the way, like during the Depression, they did their own type of quantitative easing, but didn't do it as efficiently, I would like to say. In other words, they didn't protect the banks and institutions, and a lot of them, fell apart and hurt the society for years. And so now they're protecting those things. So, maybe another 10 years, maybe another 20 years. Last time they did this was from like 1930 or 32 all the way up to 1968. So it was like 36 years. So let's see what else. Oh, Douglas is saying you take the ETF, the EWZ. Oh, could you take a look at it? Sure. Let's take a look at that. We'll finish it up that way with the Brazil. Let's see, where is that? This closes. Open it up there. Oh, that closed the wrong one. Close that. There we are. Open that. That's what it is. Open it. There we are. And let's put it down here. Right there. Right there. There it is. There we go. See, it's EWZ right there. Pressure on it again today. We've been in the daily sell since here, so finally it's making some dough. It's been in a weekly sell all the way back in July, late June. So there's the product today. How's that, Douglas? Good way to end the webinar? Alrighty. This has been Doc from North America. Catch you all tomorrow on Thursday, the day before Friday. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Now, remember, traders, EWZ is the ETF of the Brazilian fund of some form. So it combines like with currency and stocks. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you tomorrow. Ta-ta.